Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of A Nation United Canada edition, right here on FIFA 19's Career Mode. The Canadians of Kaiserslautern have set themselves up for one hell of a finish to this season. We are in the semi-final of the Europa League, the final of the German Cup with the chance to repeat as champions, and with 3 games left to go in the Bundesliga, we are fighting for our lives to finish at the very least in the top 6. It's going to be a dramatic finish, a very nerve-wracking, and scary, perhaps, in some ways, finish to this season. We start off with the away leg, the first leg and the away leg of this semifinal match against Everton. We are not going to play this, but much like we did against Real Betis, we may play the second leg if we are needed. This is the team that we are rolling with. Kay will be in the lineup rather than Kerr, and of course now we know we have a bit of a super sub in Sullivan. I still cannot believe the goal that he scored last time out. We need, at the very least, a goal here to help put the pressure on. For once, we head into the second leg with the advantage in away goals. That's if we can get the job done here. I mean, I suppose we can't count our chickens before they hatch. But at this point, we are currently listed at 78, 80, and a 79, of course, with an 86 rated keeper. Everton at this stage, 83, 81, and a 78. I don't know for sure if that's the lineup they're going with. In a way, I hope it isn't. It's interesting because Pickford at an 88 is obviously top-notch at this point, but that defense is a bit weak. I mean, Kurzawa, and I'm assuming that's Daley Blind, both getting up there a little bit. Lindelof at an 87. The midfield's pretty strong, although Gylfi Sigurdsson's down to a 74. I mean, he's going to be up there in age at this point. Bernard on the left, one of my favorite players to use in FIFA. And then Pinamonti up top, 86 rated. Let's do this. The away leg, the first leg of this Europa League semi-final. Can we get a win? They made it past Leverkusen. Can we get the job done here? And indeed, it's not the same lineup. Timo Werner's in up top. They have Dowell as well. Jose Guy, I believe. And Werner scores in the 29th minute. Advantage to the Blues, although David gets the goal back. So we have an away goal. As it stands, if the score holds, we would technically go through if we were to draw. Davies gets a second away goal. It's a penalty. That is huge. Sandro, though, is able to tie it in the 87th. So that is a tremendous result for us, all things considered. While we're not technically ahead, we do have the away goal tiebreaker very much in our favor with those 2 goals. So if the score is tied in that second leg, we're good to go. If it's 1-1, if it's 2-2, we'd go to extra time. If it were to be 3-3, they would go ahead. So the 2 away goals are very nice. The win would have been that much better, but not a bad start for us, all things considered. And we now shift our attention back to the league. We have 3 games left, currently in 5th. We are 2 points behind both Frankfurt and Bayern, who already have played their 32nd game. As you can see, in 7th place, Hertha Berlin. It's a relatively tough matchup here. The good thing is most of the teams decent in terms of stamina right now, in terms of fitness. Now, the game against Everton, we're going to have time for people to rest up. So we can afford to play people here, even if they're a little bit tired. Now, Park's definitely going to be taking a seat. James is a little bit tired as well. I think we're going to give the defense a little bit of a break. So we're going to bring in Cameron. Gagnon's going to play center. And we're going to have Sullivan there too. I think we're going to start Taylor in this game. He should be able to get us a win. Mathis could end up being a little bit tired, but hopefully he'll be okay. Let's bring in White. Who do we want to play on the outside there? That's a tough one. I think we go with Sullivan, and we'll see if he gets subbed. And we're going to play Larry Kerr up top. So another mishmash of a team here. I'd like to think they could still get the result. I mean, there are some strong options here. Now, the good thing is, even if we lose this game, we're not out of the top 6, and we can continue to focus primarily on that Europa League matchup. They are in relatively poor form as well. The problem for us is it's an away leg, and the game, unless we're running a full-strength squad, doesn't often like to give us good results on the road. Sullivan scored in the 13th. Selke gets it back. Selke, I guess it would be, as in the hockey trophy, perhaps. But we are tied at halftime. They're right back. Klunter scores in the 46th. We need a big-time goal here from somebody. 20 minutes left. Approaching 10 minutes left. Hertha Berlin are going to get a big-time win. 2-1. So that might be the top 4 dream over. The top 6 dream is still very much alive. But that is... it's relatively disappointing. I mean, we draw Everton, we lose there. Like I said, we have the advantage here heading into the home leg of the Europa League semi-final. But now when it comes to the Bundesliga table, we're actually out on tiebreaker. 2 very important games coming up. It's that close. We're still just 3 points out of the top 4. But that's actually a pretty damn big loss. Things just got a hell of a lot more interesting for us when it comes to the league. And we play Cologne and Hamburg in the final 2 games. Of course, the League Cup final against Hoffenheim. We'll focus more on the league in a moment, because for now, the goal is simple, and that is to punch our ticket to the Europa League final by winning this game here. Gagnon obviously at left back. Mathis is in poor form, but he's going to play. He's obviously our best option there. We're going to get James back in the midfield. Clark on the right, and I like Kay a lot, but he's going to be... he's actually going to be in, I think, rather than Kerr. Kerr, we could get a half out of Kerr. He could be a super sub later on. I'm going to use him in a super sub setup. So the team is good to go for this game against Everton. I am not going to risk it. We are going to play it. And again, hopefully we can punch our ticket to the final. Again, we have the away goal advantage in our favor. As long as we don't completely choke here, we should be good to go, and we should be through. But Everton have a pretty damn high-powered offense that could give us quite a bit of trouble. Let's do this. Kaiserslautern and Everton.
Welcome everyone on a perfect night for football with the floodlights beaming down. I'm Derek Ray, joined for commentary by former England international Lee Dixon. Only 4 teams are left in this competition. It's the second leg of the semi-final in the Europa League. And you can feel the atmosphere already, Lee. This should be a very significant occasion.
Wow, very excited about this one, Derek. We had a cracker of a first leg, but so little to split between the 2 sides. It's perfectly set up in this second leg. Hopefully, we won't be disappointed.
On the ball, Mark Roca.
Ball played over. David, oh my God, what a tackle. Caldara. Ball over, and Pickford tried to keep that on the ground. That would have been one hell of a start. Would have been nice for him to catch that. That was a pretty rough turnover, though. Good save by Cooper. Oh boy. Oh boy, I don't like this. I don't like this. Ended up being offside. Another good save by Cooper. Another one where I wish he had been able to hold on to it. That one would have been a little bit more difficult for him to do so. Kay wins the header.
Can he make this move count? Oh, he's lost possession of the ball. Excellent ball towards the front post.
Jonathan David off the bar. Davies. It's James. Just hoping to be able to pass it. What a save again by Cooper. Bernard just tried to power that one through. There haven't been too many dangerous chances for them, but we've still needed the saves. That's a dangerous chance. Hell of a block. I think that was Gagnon who had to hit him in the stomach. Oh, it was close. David plays it through for Clark. Does he have the pace to get past Lindelof? He does, and he buries it. It's Clark who struggled so much against Batiste. What a counterattack.
Well, here we'll see it again. There's two parts to every game, with and without the ball. They've soaked up a lot of pressure today, but they've got their reward.
David for Davies. Davies. That close. That close to potentially putting this game out of reach. We're up 1-0 in this game, 3-2 on aggregate. All the pressure in the world for Everton to have to score. You would have seen at the beginning that Spurs were ahead against Inter 3-1. Inter back in that series, scoring the only goal in the first half for them. So this one still far from over, but with the away goal pressure that we have on Everton, they are in quite a bit of trouble. Oh my God, Gagnon, what a pass!
And a goal it is. They lead by 2 now. Fully deserved.
Well, let's look at
unreal.
These in training, first sign, bang in the back of the net. Look at the calmness of it. Technique, brilliant.
Clears his lines. Can he put it away?
Oh my God, Cooper, what a save.
Oh, and does he?
It was just a nightmare pass from me. And Cooper bails me out. He's had to make saves in this game. Nothing overly tough, similar to what I would have shown you in that first half. We've done really well in terms of holding on defensively here. But Cooper's been every bit the player that we've needed him to be. Boy, K. David for Davies.
Others in the vicinity. Will there be a tackle?
K again.
Maneuvering his way forward. Opportunity it is.
Jonathan David! Oh my God, he's too good. I cannot believe we were onside there. Jonathan David ices this game. We are going to the Europa League final. What would this team have done if I wasn't controlling them? Not sure. But we know what this team can do when I do control them. And it's seeing Jonathan David. I don't know what in fairness, I don't know what the hell Pickford was doing there. I don't know what the hell that save animation was. It was more about that terrible save animation than anything else. Let's go ahead and get some of the guys who don't get to play that often into this game. Let's take out Davies and Clark to get them a little bit of rest. David will be out for Sullivan more than likely. This game is over. We are going to the Europa League final. That will do it, guys. Cooper holds it out. The game is over. We are going to the final. Our first time in the Europa League. And we are off to the final. Case in point about them getting some shots off in this game. They actually outshot us, but Cooper did extremely well. You can see by the shots there. I mean, you know, the green dots for them, obviously. None of them, I'd say, severe threats, though. A lot of shots from outside. Some easy saves for Cooper overall. But, yeah, just the opportunities that we had, for the most part, were top-notch, and we took advantage of them. Like I said, with that, we know the result. It's going to be Spurs. Inter fall a goal short. So we will be taking on yet another English club in the final. Kaiserslautern and Spurs in the Europa League final. You want to talk about a very difficult matchup and a second leg matchup that if we play, we could find to be extremely difficult. That is very much one of them. We now turn our focus back to the Bundesliga. Outside of the top six via tiebreaker after a pretty devastating loss to Hertha Berlin. We'll see what we can do moving forward. You really don't get that much money for making it to the Europa League semifinal, do you? Lucas White, you're welcome for not really playing you. We take on Cologne in this next game, and when it comes to that finals matchup against Spurs, that will be just a few days after the Cup final. So we are going to know the result of the league, of the German Cup, and then of the Europa League to end this episode. So this is obviously huge. We have a lot of tired players, but no choice but to run with them, and I'm actually going to run with every single person that is still in this lineup. The only one that I'm concerned about, I suppose, is Mathis, just because he's not in good form and he's tired. And for me, the solution there, I mean, Cooper is in good form. We could move someone like Taylor or Park over, but we're going to leave this team as is and hope that we don't suffer as a result of the lack of depth and stamina. But right now, Cologne 16th. They would currently be in the relegation battle if they don't win their final two games and see Schalke or Hamburg drop points. Hamburg, the team we play on the last day of the season, is in 14th. There is no excuse for us to not get the points that we need to survive this situation. We are simming this game. It's a home game against Cologne. They are coming off of 2 wins in their last 3 games. They also drew Bayern Munich. But this needs to be a win. It should be a win, or the top 6 dreams very much in doubt. Clark scores in the 20th minute as Mathis picks up an injury, and that could be devastating, and more than likely that's due to me playing him when he was tired, and we'll see whether or not that's a devastating injury or not. Jonathan David scores, and that should be the win secured, and if it wasn't, it is now. Marc-Anthony Kaye in the 70th minute. That is the type of performance that we needed to see. 3-0 over Cologne. That's going to help in terms of goal differential. And that sees us into the top 4 heading into the final day of the season. Mathis out for 9 days. He'll be back for the tournament finals, but I think he is likely to miss the final game of the season here. But we were able to win without him. I don't think Clark's going to be good to go. We'll double check that option. The situation here is simple. If we win on the final day, we're going to be in the top 4 no matter what, whether that's 3rd or 4th. If we lose, we could fall all the way back to 9th or to 8th. Mines could technically tie us, and I don't think, of course, with only the 28 goals allowed, they will beat us in terms of goal differential. So when it comes to the top 4 dream, I'm going to leave it up to the team, I think, to get the job done here, because again, Hamburg is a team that we should beat. When it comes to the tournament final, the German Cup, we'll see. I'm not sure what I want to do there. I'm not sure what I want to do in terms of, I think we have to play the Europa League. It's just 1 game. Obviously, winning the German Cup would make sure that we're back in the Europa League next year, but winning the Europa League sees us back, or sees us into the Champions League for the very first time. So a lot of high-pressure games here. Hamburg and Schalke are safe. Cologne will be in that relegation game, but we're playing the 14th rated team. They've given up 45 goals this season. Again, we're going to trust the team. Mathis, slightly injured, is going to be out of this game because we don't want to risk him for the finals. The 2 final games that are coming up. So Mathis will take a seat. We're going to play Cameron at right back. I think that's the better way to go. Although Gagnon, 3-star weak foot, 5-star weak foot for Cameron, so he should suit up just fine. over on that side. This is the team that we are going to roll with. We are going to leave it up to chance. We are going to leave it up to fate. It's an away leg game against Hamburg, or not a leg game, but it's an away game against Hamburg. If we win, top 4 is secured without us playing a single game in the Bundesliga this season. A tremendous accomplishment if we're able to get the job done. If we lose, well, then we have 2 finals that we can look ahead towards to make ourselves feel a little bit better. If we win here, we are in the Champions League regardless of the result against Spurs. That would just simply be for pride. But that could change how I decide to play the back half of this episode as Ito scores. Ito scores. We're in trouble. 30 minutes left. We need a win here, or those games do in fact matter, and they're going to. Hamburg, Jonathan David in the 89th may have secured a top 4 finish for us, hopefully at least a top 6. But as it turns out, unless a ton of results went our way, that cup match is going to be important, but that Europa League final against Spurs is going to mean everything, because that's going to be the only way we make it into the Champions League next year. I can't imagine that other teams slipped up enough. I think we just threw away our chance to make it into the Europa League, or to make it into the Champions League, excuse me, off of league results, and we did. We slipped up. 2 points off. Bayern Munich won't be in the Champions League next year, Jesus. But we finish in 5th, our best finish to date. One has to wonder if the depth was a little bit better, where would we be? But a 14, 11, and 9 record on the season. The tied for the fewest goals allowed with just 29 alongside Hoffenheim, whose high-powered offense led them to victory. They scored 20 more goals than we did. That sees us finish in a Europa League spot. So the German Cup, I'm not all that concerned with, because the reward for winning the Cup, aside from glory, is the Europa League. We want the Champions League, and the only way to do that is to beat Spurs. So we're absolutely going to play that game. If I leave it up to you guys are going to say play it anyway, so we're going to do that. But still, in terms of the league, it is a slight disappointment to miss out on the Champions League and have these next 2 games be completely irrelevant. That actually would have been pretty nice, but one hell of an accomplishment for us to finish in the top 6. That was the goal, and the fact that it's disappointing we didn't get top 4 shows just how far this team has come compared to being, nearly relegated not all that long ago. So a tremendous season for the Canadians of Kaiserslautern, and from the looks of it, especially with a lot of guys we have in the youth academy, we are only going to get better. Now, when it comes to this German Cup final against Hoffenheim, while I don't exactly want them to pull off the domestic double in terms of winning the league and the cup, we are going to set our priorities on that game against Spurs. And I think that is a hell of a lot more important. So we're going to be resting quite a few guys. And actually, I'm going to see if there's anybody that we can sign from the youth academy to have play in this game. We might as well. There's no reason to not rest these guys and focus on that game against Spurs. So when it comes to who we can sign Brian Clark now. And we know that we're going to be signing Russell Kerr, Josh Evans. Some of the others are still a bit of a toss-up. So Russell Kerr, he's a 52. I'm going to sign Evans for the moment. And we're going to sign Brian Clark, of course. Both would probably have been asked to get pro contracts anyway. We'll take a look at how good they are. Clark, potential to be special, can play all 3 defensive positions. 5-star weak foot, low high. That is unbelievable. He is going to be an absolute monster for us, make no mistake. And when it comes to the other Josh Moore that we now have, or not Josh Moore, Josh Evans, oh my God. Was it Josh? No, it was Jake Evans. That's right. We knew about the other Evans. So now we have Josh. Yeah, we have 2 Josh Evans. That's what I thought. And in fairness, the other Josh Evans is really good too. 5-star, 3-star, high, medium work rates. We have 2 Josh Evans on this team that are both incredibly good. Evans, I didn't need to take away the loan listing. Potential to be special as well. So the talent we have down that right-hand side is simply ridiculous. Let alone the fact that we have 2 Josh Evans. Evans squared? The Evans eye. The Evanses. Let me know what you think. But let's see what we can do here. So Cameron will definitely be in. We're going to have Clark get his first pro game. And for the center back pairings, let's go with Sullivan. And to be honest, White can't naturally play center back. But that might be where he ultimately plays. CDM-wise, we're going to go with K and James, or K and Piet, I should say. Let's have Kirby in, Sullivan, Cooper, and the second Evans. So like I said, we're almost essentially admitting defeat against Hoffenheim. Admitting defeat's the wrong term. We are essentially handing them the win here. I mean, make no mistake, that's exactly what's going to be happening here. But again, this game means nothing to us aside from, oh, hey, we won the league, we won the cup. We won the cup last year, and I would love to win it 2 years in a row. But it's that game against Spurs that's the last one that matters. Again, that is because we slipped up against Hamburg and Hertha Berlin in this episode. That game right there is the only way we make it into the Champions League next year. I don't even know if we're ready for the Champions League, but I do want to find out. So we will sim the final of the DFB Pokal, the German Cup. We are back. We are looking to defend our title. But whether or not we win, well, that's up to a lot of our youth. And time will tell if they're able to pull off a monumental upset against the winners of the Bundesliga. I don't like our chances. We give up a goal in the 5th minute. Kerr gets it back 3 minutes later. Poulsen scores in the 21st. The advantage to Hoffenheim. And Dozel makes it 3. That's the death knell for us right there. Oh yeah, they just ripped us apart. 5-1 final for Hoffenheim. Not the result I wanted by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it was a necessary result because it comes down to this: all or nothing. Hoffenheim, you won the league. That's cool. We had a good season. I'm okay with that. You won the German Cup. Would we have won it if I played? Maybe. Probably. Would we have won it if I simmed with our true first team? Potentially. But I think I made the right call there in terms of sacrificing that game so that we were 100% ready for this, because we need our best players at full strength if we are going to beat Spurs. This is not an easy game for me, regardless of the track record that we have in terms of, oh, I'm playing the game, so hey, we're a little bit more likely to win. Despite that, this isn't an easy game at all, and the pressure's certainly on to get the job done. That is the team, of course. There's only one captain. That would be Mr. Gagnon. Jonathan David won't be on long. Free kicks will still go with Clark, but he will not be on penalties. It's going to be Davies and then Clark set up on the corners. In terms of how this Spurs team looks, let's find out what we're up against. I imagine they still have Harry Kane. Let's find out. 87, 82, and an 80. No guarantees that that's their exact team, but Kane and Augustine up top, Dele Alli, Eriksson still there, Isco, Victor Wanyama. The defense, though, is interesting. If they're actually going to run a regressing Jan Vertonghen, and if Hugo Lloris is still their option at keeper at a 74 rating. They have Lewis as well. I want to take a look at their team here to see if we have any better options, or to see if they have any better options, but we might not have them properly scouted at this point. So let's see. No, I don't want to look at Nottingham Forest, but it's interesting to know that they are back in the Premier League. Spurs, what are we dealing with here? So, Jean, Kevin, Augustine, Harrison we know nothing about, Sterling we know nothing about, but obviously those two are going to be in. Ali in the midfield, Amos Sandeberg is an 87. I imagine we'll be seeing him. Of course, 85, Eriksson and Isco. This is not going to be an easy game at all. They have Jordi Alba. Eric Bailly's still an 85. He's going to be in. Diallo's an 86. He's going to be in. From the looks of it, they might have, and of course Jamal Lewis is up there, Costas Manolas. From the looks of it, they may have done what we did. Jesus Christ, they have Davinson Sanchez still as well. They might have tanked their last game to be ready for this. And Alessio Cragno, might be different pronunciation because he's Italian, but it's going to be he or Szczesny. There's no way. It's going to be Hugo Lloris. It is going to be a much, much more dangerous team that stands in front of us. We have, again, had a tremendous season in the Bundesliga, all things considered. Top 6 was the goal. We achieved that, even though top 4 was obtainable. The German Cup, a magical run, but we made it all the way back to the final and ultimately tanked it because we already had our spot in the Europa League secured for next season via that top 6 finish. And now we have this moment where, you know, what are we going to rock here jersey-wise? Now we have this moment. You know, in fairness, they could just rock the blue and white. That's fine. We have this moment here where if we win, we are into the Champions League, and really we have nothing to lose. Our spot in the Europa League next season is already secured. But what a magical run this could be if we get the job done. Let's do it. The final game of the season, the Europa League final against Spurs.
A special one-off occasion to bring you coverage of tonight. It's the final of the Europa League. This should be high-intensity stuff, Lee.
Well, night games, European football, where does it get any better? Well, it does if you're in the final. But with finals, they're horrible if you lose. Make sure you win if you get here.
And they are underway. And it's Harry Kane. Dele Alli. Kane!
Oh my God, what a save early from Cooper. They moved the ball so quickly. And thankfully Kane didn't get better of that. Or better on that. A better shot than that. Phrase it as you will.
Option preferred, I'm sure. Abdou Diallo, given away by Tottenham.
K spots Clark, goes a little bit further out wide than I would have preferred.
And in with a real chance. Only the keeper.
Clark over for David. He bombs it home.
A quick goal.
Well, the manager would have said, keep it tight at the back and see if we can nick an early goal. They certainly have done. Well, it's not a brilliant goal, but it's a goal. It's in the back of the net. Keeper couldn't do anything about it.
And they're doing that rather well.
Good save there from Cooper. It was another bad turnover, man. It's tough to deal with the amount of pressure they're putting on.
Execution of the corner. It lacked conviction, that clearance. And maybe an opportunity.
One hell of a jump there too, but Jonathan David comes up with it. Jonathan David
Real chance.
had no help and the cut-in didn't go.
Piece of tackling to break
That was
this up.
Lewis to cut that out. I wanted to chip the keeper, but he never came off the line.
Dele Alli now. Eriksson. Isco. And here's Dele Alli. And given away.
Ball played through here. It's Mathis. Over the top. K, can he put the boot through it? He can't. Great job there by Piet and K. Okay, again.
Well, let's see,
For
does he do
Piet.
business?
And there's a penalty!
The penalty has been given.
Christian Eriksen took somebody down. I didn't see who it was.
He's now got to be extra careful.
I need a replay here, EA. What happened?
Yeah, the next one, he knows where he's going in the book.
Eriksen elbows Colin James in the back of the head. And Alphonso Davies will step up with a chance to give us a 2-0 lead. I'm almost used to FIFA 19's beta penalties. We're going to be conservative about it, and he nails it.
It's converted. I don't think anyone really questioned him.
We'll see it again here, Derek. Looks easy, doesn't it? I can tell you it isn't. I'm telling you now.
For Spurs. Christian Eriksen handed the top. It had an invitation attached.
That would have been absolutely insane. As that is, that our Gagnon kept backing up. They might have a late chance here.
Not all that convincing defensively.
Played out. Park. It was a handball and a half. My God, they still have time. They still have time. Gagnon. Come on. Thank you. Gets it back. Mathis plays it off the wrong foot. Mathis, you're a madman. We get to halftime with a 2-0 lead. The Jonathan David goal and the Alphonso Davies penalty. We are 45 minutes away. We've been rather efficient today. We are 45 minutes away from making it into the Europa League for the first time, only to have that lead us to winning the damn thing and getting to the Champions League.
Now, what can he do here?
Oh my God. If Jonathan David hit that, I think I would have retired from playing FIFA for the rest of my life. Great job on K here. David. Gets it to Davies. Alphonso. Couldn't beat him on the short side. Was hoping he would have hit that with his left or with his right and just powered it through, but he hit it with his left. And that corner is going to go nowhere for us. It was our first corner of the game.
Let's see what he has in store for them. Can he make this move count?
Oh, the passing K can't bury it. Davies. Oh my God! I told him to put his foot through it.
They produced from this position, losing the ball. Dele Alli.
Jonathan David.
It's there for him.
Oh, what a block! I can't believe David's been denied.
Now, what can he do here? Dele Alli. And the goalkeeper.
Easy save there for Cooper. 10 minutes away. I'm not sure how many highlights there would have been from this. It hasn't been easy in terms of defending. They're still getting shots, much like Everton did. But they haven't made it easy. It's the type of team where it's like, man, if you don't play it safe... It's not exactly the pass I wanted. If you don't play it extremely safe, you know, one quick pass, the AI can just tear you apart. Okay. Alphonso Davies. What a save.
Close-range effort has added on 2 minutes of stoppage time. Targets available, cross comes in. Well, they had a decent reading of that ball in. It's a very neatly constructed attack. What can they do from here?
Cooper through for Jonathan David. He nails it. The previously thought to be impossible dream has come true. The Canadians of Kaiserslautern have finally found success at the European level. We've found success at the domestic level when it comes to finishing now in the top 6 after nearly being relegated just a few seasons ago. we have won the German Cup. Of course, we made it to the final this year, but we tanked that game to focus on this, our first time ever in the Europa League, and we win it.
This UEFA Europa League final has been decided. Disappointment on one side, but sheer jubilation on the other. And my goodness, Lee, they deserve it.
Absolutely deserve it. They were running the clock down at the end. The referee obliged and blew his whistle. And quite rightly so. They're now on the halfway line celebrating with all their teammates. I'm pretty sure all the subs, etc. will come running on as well. A great, great night for this football club.
It's a party to last throughout the year, I should think. We're very happy to be celebrating good times in the Europa League. And now the trophy awaits them.
Well, all those months of hard training sessions, pre-season training, you kind of look forward to get yourself through those sessions, and they'll be looking forward at moments like this. And they've finally got their hands on this fantastic, magnificent trophy.
This is what they've wanted. Now it's in their possession. The winners of the UEFA Europa League.
Long celebrations into the night, I'm pretty sure, Derek. It's going to go on and on.
Yeah, I think they have every intention of making this last as long as possible. One more trophy left, why not? Yes. And now they get to enjoy the moment with the fans who've made the journey here for the final.
Well, it's their trophy as well, and they play a huge part in a club's season, not only domestically, but in competitions abroad. They've travelled far and wide to watch this team, and they're celebrating and sharing this moment. Absolutely fantastic.
And pictures now to be captured for eternity. What an experience, Lee.
It is, yeah. Get yourself on the front row. That's what my mum always said. You're in the photographs right next to that trophy.
The Europa League winners.
It wasn't an easy game in terms of shutting them down. We had a few more shots. The difference was shots on target. They struggled to hit the net, and we made the most of it. In a way, I do wish we could have like an interesting setup like we do in NHL, where it's, oh, sim to the 80th minute, jump in, watch the rest of it. Unfortunately, there's no way to do that. And I do think, I mean, for me, in terms of like, oh, watch the game, see what the AI does, like, I'd let the game play out, and then I'd just, clip out the goals for the highlights more than likely in terms of what, rather than watching the AI play. But regardless, like I said, if we left it up to a vote, I know you guys would have voted for me to play. And at the end of the day, it's a damn good result. Kaiserslautern win the Europa League, and that brings to a close one hell of a season. 6th in the Bundesliga. We make it to the final of the German Cup. And wait, was it 5th? It was 5th, wasn't it? It wasn't 6th. We made the top 6. We finished 5th in the Bundesliga. We make it to the final of the German Cup. And ultimately, we win the Europa League, and we will be in the Champions League for the very first time next season. So, a very, very successful season. Our most successful season to date by far. The big question is here, leading into the next phase, leading into next season, of course, what happens with the players that we have in the youth academy, who demands out, and what happens with some of our younger players in general as we continue to try and build them up. There was a major risk taken at the beginning of this season. We already get a loan offer for the other Josh Evans, which I'll accept, but we might bring him back. There was the major, I don't want to say controversy, but the big decisions at the beginning of the year to sell some of our more established players, to turn it over to the youth. We get rid of the center pack. We look to build up some of our other options. Oh my sweet Christ, yes. We look to build up and move forward with some of our younger options who long term were going to be better. And we finished 5th in the league without me playing a game. We made it to the final of the German Cup with me playing how many games, if any? We didn't play a single game in the German Cup to make it here. The only time we played was the Europa League, if I'm not mistaken. And thankfully, I think the difference maker with that is that we were never handed a poor result. Our team showed that they belonged here and that, hey, we might not have won the damn thing if I didn't play, but we wouldn't have been embarrassed. We were getting fairly consistent results leading up to that moment, as Evans indeed goes out on loan, but as I mentioned, there's a chance he may be coming back next year. I'm not sure entirely what the roster's going to look like. We know that Russell Bliska guy is going to be an absolute monster too. In the meantime, actually, let's get Josh Evans into a little bit of training. We don't have too many people on this team right now who are under a 70 overall, which is nice, but it's so satisfying, outside of Pierre Olsen, it's so satisfying to have seen this team do as well as they did this year. Call it a miracle run, call it what you will, but this team ultimately earned it. And again, they got those results at so many different times without needing me to jump in and play. And if you think about the team as it stands, the players that we're going to be continuing to add, I think hopefully now we've finally turned the corner after the scare, like I mentioned, that we had a few seasons ago, where it took a whole lot of luck and a win in the relegation game to not be, to not be dropped or sent. I was going to say both words, to not be dropped back down to Bundesliga 2. And we go from that scare to winning the Europa League, handily beating Spurs. Still super pumped about that chip goal that we scored at the end with Jonathan David. But what a season overall. And before we hit July, what I want to do is take a look at the hub and get a recap of the season. So Justin Cooper, 49 appearances, 25 clean sheets. Good God, an average rating of a 6.8 in general, but in the Europa League, and a 6.7 in the Bundesliga. Larry White had 6 appearances with 2 clean sheets. Walter Mathis, 54 games, 7 goals as a right back with 49 shooting. Like, I'm not sure what like the heading accuracy is for him. I actually want to take a look. Do we know what it is? It's a 95. That would probably explain it. In the sim, probably quite a few goals from corners, but he was spectacular. Brian Clark played in that one game. Nathan Taylor, 41 appearances, 2 goals and an assist, 20 clean sheets, an average rating of a 6.9. It was a 6.8 for Mathis. Wayne Park had an average rating of a 6.8, 2 goals and an assist this year in 44 appearances. Colin James played 52 games, and I talked about that. The center backs that we had and the potential of them moving to CDM, that's what Colin James did. And while he only had 2 goals and 0 assists, I mean, an average rating of a 6.7. It's just tremendous. And Walter Sullivan, 18 appearances as well, an average rating of a 6.2. Our fearless leader, Peter Gagnon, 60 games this year, 3 assists, part of 26 clean sheets. He's now up to an 89. Walter Cameron, 22 appearances this year, a 6.2 rating on average. Piet was still great, 59 appearances for him this year, now at 30 years old. Lucas White had those 6 appearances, average rating of a 5.7, so he wasn't quite ready, but we needed him. And then Pierre Olsen, how good is he? Do we know? We still don't, because as people have mentioned, he's below a 60. I might not try to get rid of him yet. Maybe we'll try to loan list him. George Clark, 54 appearances, 13 goals, 9 assists, an average rating of a 6.8. Josh Evans, the second Josh Evans, of course, that we brought in, played that one game. Josh Moore, 31 appearances, 2 goals and an assist, up to a 76. Brett Morgan, who spent the season out on loans, up to a 75. Kay was tremendous, 42 appearances, 5 and 5 with a 6.6 rating. You had Alphonso Davies, 20 goals this season, finally stepped up in a big-time way as a goal-scoring threat. Walter Sullivan will forever be a hero for the goal he scored against Real Betis. And I say we didn't face any dangerous situations. We did. We very well could have lost to Betis. Larry Cooper, 20 appearances this year, up to a 71. And then the original Josh Evans, 5 appearances this season. And Jonathan David, 55 appearances, 18 goals, 12 assists, a 7.1 rating on average. And Larry Kerr, 46 appearances, 6 goals, a 6.7 rating. He is up to a 72. That brings to a close one hell of a season. And despite the fact that I knew we'd get some good talent in this series, I have to admit I was doubting our ability to find this level of success. Top 6 looked like it was a long way off, let alone winning the German Cup. It started to become a joke that we couldn't make it out of the first damn round. We finally did. We make it into the Europa League because of it. Well, we finally did. We won the whole damn thing, and then we make it to the Europa League, and we win the whole damn thing there too. So now the question is, can we make it into the Champions League and win the whole damn thing on the first try? Easier said than done, especially on this with this Europa League path being about as easy as it could have been with us avoiding so many dangerous threats along the way. But the goals for this series were simple. Club level, domestic success, win the Bundesliga. We haven't done that yet. International success, mainly the Champions League. We're finally there. And international success, that's still a complete toss-up in terms of it qualifying us for the World Cup. But we are making strides in very quick fashion. Thank you guys very much for watching. Drop a like on the damn video, please. It helps me out a lot, apparently. And I will see you guys in the next one for what could be, and I hope will be, an even more memorable season.